We're going on a road trip on the southwest portion of US Highway 62. Come on, let's go. Alright, today we're doing the other direction of US 62, the southwest direction. That means we're starting all the way up in Niagara Falls, New York, and ending all the way down in El Paso, Texas, at a junction with US Highway 85. Along the way, we're going to be seeing some beautiful scenery in the state of Pennsylvania and the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas, along with some sites, places like a mill house in Ohio, a church as a museum in New York, and the sheets here in Mercer. So let's get started with US Highway 62. First, if you've been enjoying my highways content or any of my other content, be sure to like and subscribe as it helps out the channel. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers so I can do a special video with you guys. So like and subscribe. Yeah. Now let's go on with US 62. As you can see here, US 62 begins all the way up here at the Canada border in Niagara Falls and goes to the states of New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, a bit of Illinois, a little bit of Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, and finally ending all the way down here at El Paso, Texas. So with that, we're going to be talking about southwestbound US 62. So we begin here all the way up in Niagara Falls at a junction with New York Highway 104, and US 62 has a south reassurance shield if you turn onto the street, along with being named the National Veterans Highway. So we're heading down US Highway 62 south. And our first major intersection on US 62 is Interstate 190, and sadly we just get a 190 north and south shield instead of control cities for Interstate 190. And we also get a south US 62 reassurance shield. Here is the Niagara Falls International Airport, so if you're flying out of Niagara Falls, this would be the street to take to get to there. Here are having indirect access to New York Highway 33, a major freeway here in the Buffalo area. We also meet New York Highway 5, the second longest state highway in the state of New York, behind New York Highway 17, which is now Interstate 86. And we also meet US Highway 20 in the Buffalo area, and this is our last major intersection in the Buffalo area as we head south towards Pennsylvania. Here we have no access to Interstate 90, sadly. And on our way out of the state, we passed through the small town called Gowanda, New York. And it looks like there was a Radio Shack once here, but sadly this picture is from 2019. Let's see what store is there in replacement of the Radio Shack. It's a second chance boutique store? I don't know, what is it getting a second chance to? And on our way out of Gowanda, we have a New York Highway 62. I thought we were on US 62. And at random mileage intersections, we get Perrysburg 4 miles away, and US 62 north is for Gowanda and Buffalo. Here in the town of Dayton, we pass by this Historical Society Museum looking church. And still in Dayton, we have another mileage intersection sign, and we now get a mention of Warren, Pennsylvania, which is 31 miles away. That's cool of New York mentioning a city that is outside of their state. Here we are meeting Interstate 86 and New York Highway 17, and 86 west is signed for Jamestown, while 86 east is signed for Binghamton. Here we are entering into the state of Pennsylvania, and directly into Pennsylvania we meet US Highway 6, and US 62 is even current with US Highway 6 for a while. And we split off from US 6, we get this horrible monstrosity sign, 62 south for Teote and Tionesta. Do you know how many people there are between those two towns alone? 1,200 people? Why are these two towns signed? I know Tionesta should be signed because of Pennsylvania 36, but Teote should not be signed at all. That should be Tionesta and Oil City. PennDOT. Hey guys, I'm so sorry that my computer crashed because of stupid PennDOT signing Teote and Tionesta instead of Tionesta and Oil City or Oil City and Franklin. Why would they do that? Those two towns alone, Tediota and Tionesta, only has 1,200 people. It should be signed for Oil City and Franklin, or Tionesta and Oil City. But when we get off the ramp from that horrible, horrible exit, we get Oil City, which is 49 miles away, which should be listed on that sign from earlier, not Tediota and Tionesta. But here we are crossing over the Allegheny River and now paralleling the Allegheny and going through some beautiful scenery here in Pennsylvania. Here we get this Simpler Times Museum along US Highway 62, and here are Pennsylvania Highway 36, and 62 and 36 are going to be crossing the Allegheny River. Here is Pennsylvania 36 splitting off from US 62. And down here in Oil City, we're going to be now joining with Pennsylvania Highway 8, and Pennsylvania 8 and 62 are now heading towards Franklin. Here in Franklin, we're going to US Highway 322 and 322, 8 and 62 are going to be concurrent with each other as they leave the city of Franklin. Here is 62 and 8 splitting off from US 322. And here is US 62 splitting off from Pennsylvania Highway 8. And Pennsylvania 8 takes you to Interstate 80 and the town of Butler, while we're heading towards the town of Mercer. Here we have a mileage sign. This picture is from 2008. And Sandy Lake is 9 miles away, and Mercer is 22. Here are Interstate 79, and 79 has the arguably good control cities of Pittsburgh and Erie. Here are US Highway 19 and Mercer, and US 62 and 19 are going to be concurrent with each other as we head through the town of Mercer. Here is US 62 splitting off from US Highway 19, and US 19 takes you to US Highway 80, and it looks like we're also joining Pennsylvania 258 at the sheets here. And once we leave the town of Mercer, we have a mileage sign, and Youngstown is on the bottom line, which is 32 miles away, and Sharon is 14. And that is a great mileage sign for Pennsylvania because they're mentioning something that is outside of Pennsylvania. Here in Sharon, we're meeting at Pennsylvania Highway 18, and 18 takes you to both Interstate 376 and Interstate 80. Pennsylvania 18 is also the longest highway or state highway in the state of Pennsylvania. And shortly after, we're entering into the state of Ohio. And our first intersection in Ohio is Ohio Route 82, which is signed west for Warren. And on Ohio 82 itself, US 62 is signed west for Hubbard. But aren't we about to meet Youngstown? Where's Youngstown? Interstate 80, and on Interstate 80 itself, US 62 is signed west for Hubbard. Why Hubbard? It should be Youngstown, because we're about to go meet Interstate 680 in the heart of Youngstown. Here US Highway 422, and 422 is signed west for Warren, while 62 just gets nothing. Here Interstate 680, and 680 takes you into Youngstown. And we now are joining Interstate 680 south, and we have a mention of Poland and Pittsburgh. Yay, Pittsburgh! And we leave Interstate 680 and continue on our own road again, and here are US Highway 224. Here, just outside of Canton, we're Interstate 77, and 77 and 62 are concurrent as we head through downtown Canton. Here is US 62 splitting off from US Highway 30, and we just get East Liverpool and Massillon, while 77 gets no comment. Here's US 62 splitting off from US Highway 30, and US 62 is signed southwest for Millersburg, while 30 is signed west for Worcester. And on our way to Millersburg, we meet US Highway 250, and 62 and 250 are to meet concurrent with each other. And here we have a mileage sign here, and Millersburg is still mentioned at 7 miles away. And now we still get another mileage sign, and Millersburg is now 3 miles away. And we pass through Millersburg, and we actually pass by this Bridge of Dreams covered bridge and a valley trail. That's cool. Here I mean US Highway 36, and we have no direct access to Highway 36 because US 36 is this bridge up here, but here's the side road to get to US Highway 36. And we get our first actual mileage sign, and Utica is now on the bottom line at 17 miles away. That is Utica, Ohio, not Utica, New York. Here in the town of Utica, now we're getting Mount Vernon and Johnstown. And here in the Columbus area, now we're joining with Interstate 670 and 670 and 62. It's signed west for Airport and Columbus. Here's US 62 splitting off from Interstate 670, and we just get signed for 5th Avenue. And here are joining US Highway 40 and 62 are making concurrent with each other as we head into downtown Columbus. Here is the Columbus Art Museum, and we also get a mention to Interstate 71 and Interstate 70. And here's Interstate 71 and Interstate 670 as those two highways are concurrent here in downtown Columbus. And here are meeting US Highway 23 and 33. And guess what US 33 is? Hey, I know this highway. US Highway 33 is an object, as it's a diagonal north-south route, but it is actually signed east to west for most of it. It runs from Richmond, Virginia all the way up to Indiana at a junction with US Highway 20. It is 730 miles, and actually at the eastern end of US 33, Virginia 33 continues its destination all the way up to the Virginia coastline for another 72 miles. And as you can see here, there's a picture of US 33 at a junction with Interstate 270, and some major intersections and concurrencies on US 33 include US Highway 6, US 48, US 62, US 219, US 220, US 250, Interstate 69, 70, 75, 79, 270, 295, and Interstate 469. That's a little bit about US 33, and let's get back to US 62. And with our concurrency with US Highway 23 and 33, we pass by this dispatch building here, which is apparently Ohio's greatest home newspaper. Who still reads newspapers anymore? And here is US 62 splitting off from US 23 and 33 to head southwest out of the city. And sadly, we get no access to Interstate 70 here. But we do get access to Interstate 270, and 270 is just signed east and west with no control city. Here I'm meeting Interstate 71 once again, and 71 also gets no control cities. Here we are in Washington Courthouse, and we're reuniting with US Highway 22, Ohio 3, and 41, as these four highways are concurrent with each other as we head through town. Here is US 62 splitting off from US 22, as US 62 is now continuing southwest towards US Highway 68. On our way, we meet US Highway 35, and 35 has the control cities of Dayton and Chillicothe. Here in Hillsboro, we're meeting US Highway 50 once again, and like last time, we have no concurrency with US 50. Here are meeting US Highway 68 and 62 are meeting concurrently with each other as we head towards the town of Ripley. Here are joining US Highway 52, and 52, 62, and 68 are all going to be concurrent with each other for a short time. And here is US 62 splitting off from US 52, and as we head towards Maysville, Kentucky. Here are crossing over the Ohio River on this tool bridge into Maysville. And just outside of Maysville, we're meeting Kentucky Highway 9 and 10, while 62 continues southwest of here, and at this intersection, US 62 regains importance on Google Maps. Here are crossing over US Highway 68 once again, and like last time, we have no access to it. And here I'm joining US 27 and 27 and 62 are the concurrent as we head through the town of Cynthiana. What? US 27 gets a mention of Paris? I thought we were in Kentucky. That is Paris, Kentucky, not Paris, France, by the way. And 62 now gets the control city west for Georgetown, which is absolutely correct because that's where you meet Interstate 75. And on our way to Georgetown, we pass by through this plantation home once again. Here I'm meeting Interstate 75 in Georgetown, and we only meet Interstate 75 and no concurrency with it. Here I'm meeting US Highway 25 once again. And now we're meeting Interstate 64 and 64 sign west for Frankfort, which is, I think it's alright because Frankfort is the capital of Kentucky, but it should be Louisville. But Frankfort is still a good choice. Here I mean US Highway 421 and 421 and 62 are going to be current with each other. And here is 62 splitting off from US 421 as 421 heads to Frankfort and 62 heads to Midway and Versailles. Here are meeting US Highway 60 and 62 and 60 are going to be current with each other as we head through the town of Versailles. Here is US 62 splitting off from US Highway 60, and this is not the last time we're going to be meeting US 60. And here we meet the child route of 127. And here we meet US Highway 50 and US 31E once again at this beautiful drawing I have here. And what? I thought I already did a video on Boston. Apparently we're going through another Boston. This is Boston, Kentucky. Here I mean Interstate 65 in Elizabethtown. And again, we just get a meeting with Interstate 65 and no concurrency. And at this junction with Interstate 65, we get a Cracker Barrel and Shoney's. And that reminds me of my childhood home in Athens, Alabama. Here we get no access to Interstate 165. Here are joining US Highway 431 and 62 are to meet current with each other. And here we're splitting off from US Highway 231 and US 62 is going to continue heading west towards Paducah. Here are meeting US Highway 431 and 62 are going to meet current with each other. And sadly we get no access to the Western Kentucky Parkway. But we do get access to future Interstate 169, and we get no control cities for future Interstate 169 or the Pinarello Parkway. Here I'm meeting US Highway 41 once again at this four-way stop in the middle of nowhere. And we are first mileage line in a while, and Paducah is on the bottom line at 76 miles away, which is absolutely correct. Here I'm meeting Interstate 69 for the first time, and this is not the last time we're going to meet Interstate 69. Here I'm meeting it once again, and 69 and 24 are concurrent with each other this time. And now now US 641 is leaving US 62, and now we get up to Interstate 69. Here are meeting US 60 once again, and US 60 and 62 are meeting concurrent for a short while as we head into Paducah. And here in Paducah, we pass by this Just Hamburgers restaurant. I wonder if they just sell hamburgers. Maybe they sell more. I should try out this place sometime. Here's US 60 splitting off, and US 62 is now going to be joining US 45 for a brief time. Here I mean Interstate 24, and 24 East gets it to Interstate 45 because US 45 split off from 62. And shortly after leaving Paducah, we meet US Highway 51 and 62 are meet current as we head towards the town of Wickliffe. Here is US 60 joining US 51 and 62 as we head into the state of Missouri and Illinois. Here are crossing over the Mississippi River into the state of Illinois, but sadly we just get this Illinois sign and no welcome to Illinois. Actually, the welcome to Illinois sign is at the junction where 51 splits off from 60 and 62. And here is where 60 and 62 split off from US Highway 51. And here we're crossing over the Mississippi once again into the state of Missouri. And we get an actual Missouri welcome sign right as we leave the bridge. And here we get a plaque for the site of the sharecropper strike in 1939. I've never heard of that before. And here I mean Interstate 57, and 57 gets for Sikeston and Cairo. Why not Chicago and Memphis? And here, shortly after, we meet Interstate 55, and 55 is signed north for Cape Girardeau. Why not St. Louis? Where'd St. Louis go? I know Missouri just beat Tennessee in football, but they definitely don't beat Tennessee in Control City signage. Here are joining US 60 once again, and 60, 61, and 62. Sorry, US 61, and 61 and 62 are going to meet here for a while. Here I mean US 60, and this is actually the last time we're meeting US 60, because now we're meeting south of US 60 for the rest of the route. And this here is at a random junction south of US 60, and US 61 and 62 are now signed for New Madrid. And here I'm meeting Interstate 55 in New Madrid, and we get Sikeston and Blytheville. What is the deal with Missouri? And then here is US 62 splitting off from US 61, and we get Risco and Malden. Here's the actual split of US 62. And shortly after passing, there's the Malden, where you get a Welcome to Arkansas sign. And shortly after we enter into the state of Arkansas, we get a battlefield, or a sign for a battlefield, which is cool. I like history. And our first mileage sign in Arkansas, we get Pigot, which is 7 miles away, and Paragould, which is 40. Here in Pigot, we're meeting the northern terminus of US Highway 49 and Arkansas Highway 1. We meet US 67 in the town of Pocahontas at this junction with an Exxon and a Taco Bell. And here's US 62 splitting off from US 67 to head southwest. Here are reuniting with US 63 and 412, and 63, 62, and 412 are all going to be current with each other. Here is US 63 splitting off to head towards Mammoth Spring, and US 62 and 412 are going to be heading towards Ash Flat. Here's US 62 and 412 splitting off from US 167 here in Ash Flat to head towards Mountain Home, Arkansas. And we get a mileage sign right after that split, and Mountain Home is on the bottom line at 53 miles away. Here are meeting Arkansas Highway 5 in Mountain Home. And shortly after, we're joining with US Highway 65, and 65 and 62 and 412 are going to be current with each other. Here's US 62 and 412 splitting off from US Highway 65, and we're now signed for Berryville, Eureka Springs, and Huntsville. Here's 412 splitting off from US 62, and US 62 is going to be by itself as we head towards Interstate 49. And right after that split, we get a bottom line mileage sign, and Eureka Springs is on the bottom line at 29. Here is some more beautiful scenery here in the Ozark Mountains. And in the Ozark Mountains, we get this Razorback gift shop and observation tower. Here are me Interstate 49, we're going to be joining with Interstate 49 South and US 71 South. And here is US 62 spinning off from Interstate 49, as we're now just signed for Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and No Control City. And shortly after leaving Fayetteville, we're entering into the state of Oklahoma with a Welcome to Oklahoma sign. Honestly, I think that's a cool welcome sign with that star in multiple colors. And our first major intersection in Oklahoma is US Highway 59. And here in Muskogee, we're meeting the Muskogee Turnpike, and it's Oklahoma Highway 165. And it's signed south for Fort Smith. Oh wait, sorry, that's Oklahoma Highway 165, and the turnpike is 351. Here are meeting US Highway 69, and 69 and 62 are going to be current as we head towards US 64. Here is US 62 joining US 64 West, and 69 and 64 East are going to be current with each other as they head through Muskogee. And outside of Muskogee, we get a mileage sign, and Tulsa is on the bottom line at 46 miles away. Okmulgee is 40. Here's US 62 splitting off from US Highway 64. And Oklahoma Highway 16 is actually splitting off from both of these highways. And after that split, we get another mileage sign, and Chillicothe is 23 miles away on the bottom line. Here are meeting US Highway 75, and 75 and 62 are making it with each other. And here's US 62 and 75 joining Interstate 40 West, and we're signed for Oklahoma City, while the Indian Nation Turnpike is actually being going to start south of here, and it's signed for Dallas. Because I think it takes you to US Highway 287, which takes you to Dallas. Here is US 62 splitting off from Interstate 40. But those two towns are not on this next mileage sign. Instead, we get Castle, which is 6 miles away, and Prague is 25. Here are meeting US Highway 377 in Prague and Oklahoma Highway 99. Here are meeting US Highway 177 at this 4-way stop in the middle of nowhere. And once we get into the Oklahoma City area, we meet Interstate 35 and 35 and 62. We're making over with each other as we head through the city. And here is US 62 splitting off from Interstate 35 to join Interstate 240, and we're now signed for Lawton, which I think is absolutely correct. Here are joining Interstate 44, and now are still signed for Lawton because that's where Interstate 44 is going. And it's the more direct way to Lawton. And on Interstate 44, 62 and 277 are splitting off from Interstate 44 to head towards Newcastle and Blanchard. And like last time, we're meeting the Turnpike Spur, and it could be a potential 144. I don't know. I don't know how long the spur has been around for, but it could probably be migrated as an interstate highway, like how the Pennsylvania Turnpike was, or like all these other Oklahoma turnpikes. And here in Lawton, or Chickasaw, we're actually meeting Interstate 44, which is signed eastward Oklahoma City. And here's US Highway 81, and 81 and 277 are going to be heading away from each other, as 81 South is going to be joining US 62 West. Here's 81 splitting off from US 62, and US 62 continues towards Lawton. And here are merging Interstate 44 once again, and 44 and 62 are now heading towards Lawton. Here's US 62 splitting off from Interstate 44, and it's now assigned west for Cache in Altus. And here we get a nice memorial plaque for an Indian reservation out here. That's cool. And now we're meeting US Highway 183, and 183 is signed for Snyder and Frederick. And on US 183 itself, US 62 is signed for Altus still. Here in Altus, we're meeting US 283. And shortly after passing through Hollis and Altus, we're entering into the state of Texas. Yay! Our last state. Here at this random stop, we're meeting US Highway 83, and we're making it with 83 for a while. And here are meeting US 287 in Childress, and 62 and 83 and continue south of here. Here are meeting US 70 and 62 is going to be joining US 70, as 70 and 62 heads toward Florida, Texas. In fact, our Florida is our next mileage sign, and is at the bottom line, which is 63 miles away. Here's US 62 and State Highway 207 splitting off from US 70, as 62 heads towards Lubbock. Here in Rawls, we're meeting US Highway 82, and 82 and 62 are meeting with each other as they head towards Lubbock. Here is US 62 going into the downtown area of Lubbock, while 82 is going to get more of a bypass around it. Here are meeting Interstate 27 and US Highway 87 here in downtown Lubbock. And after we go through downtown Lubbock, we're going to be reuniting with US 82, and 62 and 82 are going to be connecting with each other for a long time. Here is US 385, and 385 is now going to be joining with 62 and 82. Here is US 380, and 380 and 385 and 62 and 82 are going to be current with each other for a small time. And in fact, here in the town of Seminole, US 82 and 380 are going to be splitting off from 62 and 180, as 62 and 180 continue west into the state of New Mexico. In fact, we get this Welcome to District 2 sign once again. But shortly after that, we get a proper Welcome to New Mexico sign, which is, I think it's cool. But sadly, New Mexico has one of the worst Control City signage in the entire country. Here in Carlsbad, New Mexico, we're meeting US 285 and 285 and 62 and 180 are going to be current with each other as they head through the town. Here is 62 and 180 splitting off from 285. And on our way out of town, we pass by this National Park Recreation Center, where here at this national park, you can go spelunking in caves, which is cool. Being like Mario, who goes into caves to defeat enemies. And out in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico, we were passing by these historical plaques on the side of the road. And shortly after, we're re-entering into the state of Texas, where we're going to be for the rest of the video. Here we can see some mountains in Texas, which is an odd thing, because Texas is not usually known for its mountains. And shortly after passing that beautiful scenery in Texas, we're now re-entering into the El Paso area. And now we're meeting Loop Highway 375. And now we're meeting Interstate 10 here in El Paso. Here we're meeting US Highway 54 and Loop Highway 375 once again. And 62 is still signed west for nothing. And shortly after meeting those two highways, we're meeting US Highway 85, and this is where US 62 ends and US 85 begins. But on Google Maps, it says that 85 and 62 continue with each other to the Mexico border, but I'm not going to show that. I'm just going to show this end, or this West 85 sign. So with that, we end US 62 and move on. TheDerpHog's the way it should be. So I realized while making these long highway videos that I'm not going to be doing the oak places I shall go for both directions, because it would just be the same exact list from the northeast US 62. So I'll be doing all the places I'll go on one direction and the way it should be going the other direction. So I'm doing the way it should be for Southwest US 62. So the way it should be on US 62 Southwest is Buffalo, then Jamestown, then Warren, then Oil City and Franklin, not Tidiote and Tionesta, then Mercer, then Youngstown, then Alliance, then Canton, then Millersburg, then Utica, then Columbus, then Washington Courthouse, then Hillsborough, then Maysville, Kentucky, then Cynthiana, then Georgetown, then Elizabeth City, then Central City, then Eddyville, Paducah, Kentucky, Cairo, Sikeston, Malden, Piggott, Pocahontas, Ash Flat, Mountain Home, Harrison, Eureka Springs, Bentonville, Tahlequah, Muskogee, Okmulgee, Prague, Oklahoma City, Chickasaw, Anadarko, Lawton, Altus, Hollis, Childress, Paducah, Texas, Toyota, Lubbock, Brownfield, Seminole, Hobbs, Carlsbad, then finally El Paso. Thank you all for watching this episode of US Highway 62. This took a while to make as I had to find all these cool places along US 62 to show you guys, and it was also a lot of pictures to find. For my next couple weeks, I'll be doing Interstate 635 in Dallas because of the Cowboys hosting the Eagles in Week 14 of the Sunday Night Football, and Interstate 40 in North Carolina because I'm going to be showing some stuff that Control School Freaking is funny good of the Interstate 40 videos. After that, I'm going to be doing one of the New Year's 6 Bowl highways because Florida State might be going to the college football playoff, or will definitely be going to a New Year's 6 Bowl. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.